Can we acknowledge that he's here by lifting up our hands in a moment of surrender to God? We give up our own will to submit to the will of the Father. We're submitted. We're submitted. I surrender all. I surrender all to you. I give. I surrender all. I surrender all to you. I give. Can you lift up your voice and just say that to the Lord? I surrender all.
I surrender all. I surrender all.
Give him everything, everything.
All to you. I give.
It all belongs to him.
I surrender all. I surrender all to you.
A fresh surrender.
We say yes. We surrender. We say yes. We surrender. We say yes. We surrender. We say yes. We surrender. Everybody lift your voice and we say yes. We surrender. Oh, we say yes. We surrender. Lord, we say yes. We surrender. Say it again, say we. Lord, we surrender. We say yes. With all of our hearts and minds and soul. We say yes. We surrender. We say yes. We surrender. We say yes. Whatever you want from us, Lord, we give it all to you, Jesus. We surrender. We surrender. We surrender. We surrender. We surrender. I surrender. I say yes. I surrender. I say yes. I surrender. I say yes. I surrender. I surrender. Lord, I say yes. Give you all of me.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Amen. Praise God.
Hallelujah. I want to welcome you once more to Biblical Romance Conference We are back again. Last week we had a very powerful time. And we had a wonderful time last week. Thank God for bringing us back once more for this powerful program. We will start with a prayer. So let's just pray and then start the program.
Father, we are grateful to you for such a wonderful night one more time to study what you have given to us a gift for mankind. Lord, we pray that as we study your word and share somehow insights, Lord, understanding shall be granted. Help us to, Lord, delve deep into your word this evening. Help your children, Lord.
Amen.
Let your love be imparted
Yes, Lord.
as we share your love with the people tonight. In Jesus' precious name, amen.
Amen. Thank you very much. And welcome. Welcome, Seth Queno. Always here on time.
Wow.
Thank God for your life. He's always ready for biblical romance. We thank God. And I want to welcome everybody once more. Call a friend to call a friend and tell the person to join in and listen to biblical romance. It's for married people, singles, people who are getting ready for marriage. You need to hear what we are going to discuss today.
Yeah.
Last week we began talking about love. And we're looking at some of the things that are necessary in every relationship, even before you get married. The things that you need to look at and to consider when you are choosing a spouse. And I think we started by looking at the issue of love. And we stated that love is the foundation of every marriage. Without love, the marriage cannot stand. However, we pointed out, that there are different kinds of love. There's the God kind of love we call agape, filial, and other kinds of love. And so we started looking at agape love, and we looked at the various elements of agape love. So we looked at the fact that it's not rude, agape gives, agape endures all things.
Bears all things.
Okay, so many things that we spoke about as far as agape love is concerned. So I don't know if there's anything more you want to add to the agape love. Otherwise, we move on to the next issue.
Agape actually is the spearhead of all the others. We mentioned agape love, which is unconditional love, the God's kind of love that endures all things. We spoke about the fact that it can endure everything, can contain everything, every stupidity, every licentiousness, anything, everything. That's agape love. And because God loved us just as we were, and He died for us just as we were. We're sinners. So agape is an unconditional love. Love based on no conditions. I love you because I love you because love. And then we came to talk about phileo or filial love. Filial is a brotherly love, Philadelphia, brotherly love, right? Where it's based on friendship. I mean, you exchange gifts. I give you, you give me, and then life continues. It's also very important. And then we speak about eros, where the English word erotic was derived from. That is based on flesh, beauty. Just as you see, I'm a handsome guy, a beautiful wife. It's very important because when you marry, you need eros in a relationship. Dressing nicely to attract each other is also important. Then we have sarkikos. Sarkikos is lustful love without relationship. It's just like a man rapes a woman. There's no relationship. Or a man takes a girl, 10-year-old girl, or 5-year-old girl, and tries to do something. There's no relationship. It's called sarkikos, fleshly, carnal, and things like that. So, but then you see, agape is the spearhead. Agape leads the rest, the three, phileo and erotic, the eros. It leads the three, the two. As of sarkikos is out. So you need the three in the relationship. But agape leads the spearhead. So it's also important in the relationship. Yeah, so that's just about that.
All right, okay. So welcome once more, all of you who are watching. Jasha, we miss you so much.
Wow.
We miss you so much.
You
You are
come.
stuck somewhere and you
You
can't
come.
come home.
You come.
But it is well. We are
well.
hoping that very soon the borders will be open and you can come home.
Amen.
It is well. So
well.
we are talking about all these things. Now let's look at filio. We have already looked at agape, and we have looked at all the things that agape does, and we said that agape is the foundation.
Yeah.
Now, when you talk about filio, maybe you explain a little bit about what filio love
Okay,
is.
filio is basically a friendship love,
Okay.
and it's also very important
Okay.
because before you get married, you must be friends. I keep saying this. You see, if you don't become friends and you move into a relationship, with time it will dry. It will dry.
Okay.
It will dry away. So you need the filio in the relationship, and it has to do with I do things for you, you reciprocate.
Okay.
I do things for you, you do things for me. You know, a woman goes to the kitchen to cook, the man goes to clean. Right. I mean, you just try to help each other, you know, and give things to each other, right? And that is so important. So we need a filio in the relationship. However, there are times when the filio fails because of human weakness. That is where agape steps in. Agape is unconditional. So when you don't even give me anything, I'll keep on giving you my heart and give you my love. So agape is very powerful.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's very, very interesting. Was it yesterday or a few days ago? I was just watching something on TV and I saw an issue about a lady who was unfaithful to in a relationship, and she was saying that the man had said he was going to take care of her, and the man wasn't taking care of her, and so she went out of the relationship because what he promised he was not
able to
doing it.
fulfill.
And this is a clear example of filial love.
Filial.
Because the man had promised that, oh, I'm going to take care of you, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, I'm going to do that. And then he fails. And because there's no agape, there's no
Yes, it's not
agape
agape.
love, which is the
Right.
foundation of the marriage. When the filial fails, then the whole system just kind of crumbles down.
Yeah.
Because you promise me something and then you don't give it to me.
Yeah, and that is very important because some men, Bible says that a faithful woman, a virtuous woman who can find, that's good. But all men will proclaim their goodness, but a faithful man who can also find in the Bible, a faithful man. Because every man can say, look, I'll marry you, I'll take you to America.
I will do this for you.
I'll take you to Germany. I'll build a house for you. I'll make you happy. It's like promise upon promise upon promise. And then when they get married and these promises are delaying, there's a problem.
Then a problem.
So I think that one of the things we should inculcate in dating and courtship is transparency. Be who you are. I mean, like, what you have, go with what you have.
I think it's one of the things that
We'll be discussing today.
we'll
Yeah.
be talking about that
So
one as well.
filial is important. It's a friendship love, but it can crumble under resistance. Right? When things are not working out well, all the promises made would just vanish into
Once
thin
it
air.
goes away, because there are some people who can really make promises. Some men really, they know how to
They can
talk.
talk.
They can rap.
They can rap. They can
And,
rap.
you know, they kind of wrap you and give you some idea as to what they are going to do and what they have and all that. And sometimes when people get that idea about how their marriage is going to be like, and then when they go into the relationship and they realize that it's not what they thought, then they want to back out immediately.
And that is why filial must not be the foundation.
Okay.
Filial must never be the foundation. It is agape. I love you the way you are. It is God's kind of love, unconditional. You don't have much, but I love you the way you are. You know, there was a man with disability. His name is Vucevic.
Yeah, I've seen
He-
that one. The one who
he doesn't have limbs.
arms and,
He doesn't have limbs. He's an evangelist now. And he's married. He doesn't have legs, he doesn't have arms. And he's married to a beautiful wife. And he has children. This is somebody who loved a man based on agape, not because of his physical disability. Agape is a love based on unconditional. I mean, there's no condition.
Yeah.
Like money. If the money is no more there, the thing will break
And
down.
levels. That's why
The
in
man-
some, in some relationship, when they start the relationship, there's money and everything.
There's the Benz car.
When things go wrong,
It starts having problems.
yes.
So we should make sure that an agape can only be imparted to believers. It's only believers who can really function because it's God's love. And Romans chapter 5 says that the love of God is shed abroad in our hearts by the Holy Spirit. Romans 5 verse 3 and verse 4. The love of God is shed abroad. So a Holy Ghost filled believer with agape will not fail.
Okay.
Will never fail. So we need to engage God in functioning in agape because it's so much important to make the marriage and the relationship work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you are still listening to or watching Biblical Romance.
Yeah.
We are on Facebook, and we are looking at love, and we are looking at relationships, marriage relationships. We are looking at courtship, and we are looking at love right now, the different kinds. We've looked at agape, we looked at phileo, and the third one,
It's eros.
eros.
Eros is even more dangerous. Eros is needed in the relationship.
Okay.
See, when you're a woman, there are some things you do. I mean, you need to be beautiful. Dress your hair, put on your lipstick, shine your face, look nice and attractive. That is eros. But then, as I said, agape is a spearhead, it's a foundation. So don't lose agape. Let the others be by it. But if you marry based on eros, erotic love, if it's no more there, it will crash. Because if you marry and at the time you saw the woman or the woman had some beautiful, bus. I mean, I call them the pineapples. You know, the pineapples, I call them pineapples for decency, right? But Bible calls them breast, and there's nothing wrong with saying breast. I mean, well, energetic, standing, firm breast.
Mercy.
You know, and these firm breasts are so attractive that your eyes cannot go off it. You look at it and you want to look at it twice and thrice. And so these breasts attract you, and you say, "I love you." Now your love is not based on agape; it's based on the breast. And then you realize that it's not only the breast, but even the apples. I mean, the praise the Lord. The first one is called apples. The second one, the back is pineapples, because they are bigger than apples. And the person have very huge hips. I mean, and bumps, right? And if your marriage is based on bumps and hips, and apples, and over time, these apples begin to sag, because it's eros, it's beauty. Because beauty fades. Beauty doesn't stay there forever; it fades. And if it's no more there, then you are disappointed. You start looking for younger women because you grow. I mean, if you are 25 years, 30 years, by all means you grow. I mean, you all age. Aging will catch up with you. 30 years, 35, 40 years, it will come. 50, it will come. You know, and at 50, you look at your wife or your husband and there are garters on his face. Look at my face right now. My wife knows that there are garters there. When we got married, I was a darling boy, wasn't I?
Very, very powerful.
I was a darling boy. I mean, but now here I have some baldness is coming on my hair.
The gray hairs.
The gray hair is coming right now. You see? So if you are a man and your love is just erotic, it's eros, and you start now, you look at the woman and the breast is sagging, and the hips are also sagging because she will grow, she will put on weight. Somebody say, why is it that you are too fat like that? Some men, you are too fat like that, you know, I mean, that's the way. So, if you marry on eros, based on eros is changeable. The woman will change, the man will change. And when that happens, you are likely to change your mind and start looking for younger girls. I mean, young women who have the hips and the breast. And with time, your heart goes away into. That's why some women, some men at mid-age, because it's called mid-age crisis, mid-year crisis, midlife crisis.
Yes.
At 35, 45, 50, they start having problems and they start chasing other girls, you know. And some of the women too, they have problems with the men. And so, in short, erotic love is good. If you are married, what you did to attract your man, continue. Continue dressing nicely. Continue attracting your man. Even at 50 years old, 60 years old, keep on doing the dressing thing. Keep on. Don't stop it. Erotic is needed. I know some 80-year-old ladies who still do lipstick and they dress nicely as if they are 60 years old. You know, so eros is important, but it must never be the foundation. If you go with that, I promise you, not a prophecy. It's the prophecy. Based on experience, the marriage,
You will have problems.
you have problems.
And
You have
I
problems.
think for men, when they put on a shirt, they are gone. There's really isn't much. But for us women, sometimes some of us, when we get married and now that we have the husband and we have what we want, it's like we just relax and you just do whatever you
Yeah.
want. You don't take care of yourself.
Again.
There are some of us, then every day you have tied a cloth around your waist.
Yes.
And you are walking around the house with a cloth tied around your waist. You don't take care of yourself. Your hair is always messy. Some of us will not even take a bath. I mean,
Serious.
as a woman,
It's serious.
you should be able to take your bath twice a day, morning and evening.
It's very
Every
important.
morning, evening, take your bath before you go to bed. You
Yeah.
don't take your bath and with the sweat and everything, and you just go and dump yourself in the bed. And it doesn't help the relationship.
It doesn't.
Because men are attracted by what they see.
Yes.
They are very much attracted by what they see. So if they go out there and they see people who are dressed so nicely, they go to the office and they see all
secretary
these
well
young
dressed.
ladies well dressed and walking around, they get attracted by it. I'm not justifying that it is wrong. You are not supposed to do that, especially if you are a believer. You are not supposed to do that. They are not supposed to attract your eyes. But I mean, we are all human.
Yeah.
So as women, I mean, we should, especially those of us who get married, we should be able to also maintain a certain level of, don't just leave yourself to sag because you are married. I know there are a lot of pressures in marriage, especially when children come. There are so many things you have to do, take care of the children, take care of the home and all that. So sometimes we get to a place where we tend to leave ourselves to, sag like that. But
Yes.
you don't have to do that. You have to
don't.
make sure that
You
you
don't.
always remain attractive to your husband
Eros-
as much as you can.
Eros is important, and it starts from courtship. Not even that, it starts from when you are growing as a young woman. I mean, 20 years old girl, try to look nice, dress. I mean, have your bath twice a day. If you're a young man, I mean, train up a child the way he should go, and when he grows, he won't depart. So the tradition, the custom, the things you get used to when you are growing, they'll grow with you, grow up with you. If you don't start having your bath twice a day, and you move into a relationship and you marry, it will be a problem.
Mercy, Lord.
You see, your body is smelling, your singlet is smelling, your socks smelling, and then your brassiere, the ladies, your brassiere is also smelling, because you haven't trained yourself to be decent, to have your bath twice a day. And so you move into somebody. Let me tell you something. This is something that broke a marriage. It's a long time ago, and I'll just say it. For all of us, let's learn. This lady came and said that my husband is gone because he says that, excuse me, my underpart smells.
Mercy, Lord.
That's dangerous. The man began to become promiscuous. And he told a friend who told this woman, this married woman. I mean, I was like, wow. I was quiet for a while. I said, wow. So that also matters. So it means even having your bath and bathing very well counts a lot. So for the young women and young men, don't wait till you get married. You start right away. Start having your bath twice. Look at your singlet. don't wear it 3 times or 2 times. You wear it and it's smelling, just put it off. I mean, wash it and hang it nicely. You know, and be decent. I mean, carry yourself well.
Yeah.
Because somebody wants you. And the person someone is preparing for you, you need to prepare for somebody. And prepare very well. So these are some of the things. Eros is important. As Mommy just said, some ladies, there's somebody who went to the UK. I mean, he's a married man. He went to the UK. And after a while, he wrote a letter to the wife here in Ghana that it's over. Let's cancel the marriage. It's over. So the woman came and said, this is what? And the man called me and said, Ghanaian women, they tie their breasts with cloth at home. That's how the wife is. A Christian, I mean, somebody I respected so much, telling me that he's for a London woman. A London woman who dresses well, puts on the 90, beautiful 90, and so he wants to go with that, and they are there, they are married. And he has left the 2 children here with the woman here and divorced. It's very sad. It's so sad. I'm not saying that the man is right. We can't justify him, never. But it's so also important that our ladies do their best. I mean, play their role. I mean, look neat, look nice. For the time you are young till the time you die, you have to look attractive, presentable, well packaged for your spouse. Market yourself till you die.
Okay.
Do it. You can do it.
All right. I think I also want to talk about a certain aspect of the eros, and this has to do with when you read the Bible, looking at David's son called Amnon, who thought he loved his sister Tamar.
Yeah.
And this is a clear example of eros. I think in our Bible reading plan, we read this a few days ago.
Yeah.
Yesterday, we read this story a few days ago. And this young man thought he was in love with his sister. So he concocted a plan and decided, or tried to feign sickness, and asked the father to let the sister come and prepare food for him in his house. So when the sister came and did it, then he forced and slept.
He said, come and serve me in the chambers.
In the chambers.
So
in
he
his room.
sacked all the friends. Said,
Yes.
Please go away. I want to be served. I'm so sick. Please come and serve me. Come and serve me in the chambers.
He was sick of love. And eventually he forced himself, slept with this lady. And then when he slept with her, the next thing that happened was that he hated her more than he loved her, and he sacked her. He
banged
threw
the door.
Yes, he threw her out of the room. And for us ladies, this is a lesson for us, especially when it comes to you are in a relationship and the man wants to sleep with you. If he loves you, he should wait for you until you get married.
Yes.
Because the moment they get what they want, the moment they sleep with you, that is all.
That's the end.
That is the end of the relationship. Because they see you in another light altogether. And that is what happened.
Yeah.
The moment he had slept with Tamar, now he hated her.
The more.
Somebody that he said he loved her. He loved her. So it was all eros.
Yes,
as soon as he got what he wanted, he began to hate her.
Yep.
And it happens to a lot of women. A lot of women. The men sugar-coated words. They give them, you are the only fly in my cocoa. The only.
And the women too are shaking their
and they love it, and they feel like, they are. All they want is to sleep with you. And the moment they finish, then it's like they've gotten what they want, and then that is all. So we have to be very careful of that, because any relationship which is based on eros will never survive.
It will never survive.
It will never survive, because the body changes. You cannot be the same forever. Even the sex drive that we have, as you grow older, it changes.
It changes.
And so if your relationship from the beginning is all about sex, as it changes, you see that there's nothing in common that you have anymore. There's nothing, you are not friends. there's no filial, you are not friends, you can't chat, you can't have any other relationship
Yeah.
apart from sex. And so even though eros is important, filial and agape especially
Yeah, they're
are also very,
very
very important
important.
for every relationship.
Yeah. So let's maintain the three. Agape is the spearhead. Don't forget that is the leader. And then we have filial, the friendship, and eros. But don't base all on eros, on sex, because you can't have sex every day. A time will come you will never have sex, and sex shouldn't be the driving force of the relationship.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, because a time will come that your body will not respond the way it should. You know.
I mean,
so-
sometimes when women are pregnant, sometimes when you get to a certain stage, they will tell you that you shouldn't have.
shouldn't
Sometimes, you know, even when a person is pregnant and
The
there are complications.
They tell you don't have it.
Yes. So if that happens and you cannot have sex, then what happens? Does it mean that you have to go out and look for somebody, or because the relationship is all about sex?
It's
So
very wrong.
That's also important.
After delivery, the women are given 3 months, about how many months? Almost 3 months or so of no sex. And if you're a man and you cannot control your body, and sex is your driving force, then you go for another woman. So by the time your wife is ready, another person is pregnant. Another person is pregnant. So you end up sleeping with several women, and because you cannot wait.
You cannot
control your
That is
passion.
why in
You can't
every
control your passion.
relationship, if you can't control yourself before you get married, and your partner cannot control himself before you get married, then be sure that when you get married, it will be the same
be the
thing.
same thing.
He will eventually find a way when things happen, and maybe there's a time when you can't come together.
Yes.
He will have to look for somebody else to satisfy.
Yeah,
because
and
he cannot-
let me say this, that our ladies must be wise. Be wise. The men will come and tell you, oh, by all means, we'll marry.
You marry.
Oh, don't worry. You are the person I'm going to marry, so let's have an experience. Let's have a school. Let's try it and see. Please don't yield to that deception.
Yeah.
And most women, they yield to that. Oh, I'm the only person in his life, so if I don't give it to him, he won't marry me. Let him go to hell. Let him go to hell. If he doesn't get it, let him go to hell. Because this is what the men use. Because in the world, it looks like there are more men than women. The women are scarce in the whole world. I don't know, maybe next week give you statistics. But there are more men. So it looks like there's a struggle for marriage for men now. So the thing is that if the man says that, oh, I love you, you are my that and that and that, and let me kiss you, and let's do it, because by all means we will marry. By all means, it's only you. And you do it once, the next time twice, the next time 3 times. And once he starts getting this, like we read, Tamar and Amnon, it's finished.
He begins
He
hating
begins
you,
to
and then
hate
his
you.
eyes will start wandering and start looking around
Yes.
for another person. And sometimes when they get what they want, and they will be with you for years. I'll marry you. I'll do it. I'll marry you, and the marriage never comes on.
And actually,
Because
mommy,
they are-
you see, I've been a counselor for years, and I still do counseling. This time, I don't do it much. But the cases I've handled so far about divorces, most of them have engaged in sex, premarital sex, before the consummation of the marriage. Most of them, they slept before they can. So, give them some 2, 3, 5 years, they're having problems. So most of the problems we're having today in marriages, most of them, not say all of them, most, is because of premarital sex. They don't have the patience to wait. So if we can avoid that, at least start from somewhere and see how it is going to work.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this is Biblical Romance, and we are still on. If you have any question, you can please send us the questions, and then
Yes.
we will take a short break, just 1 minute break, and then we'll come back. So
Yeah.
start bringing your questions. Let's have your questions, and then we will answer them. We'll be right back.
So many Christians take so many things for granted. We think that once we're married, everything will work out by itself automatically. It does not work that way. We need to be deliberate and intentional about our marriages. We need to work at it day and night. Biblical Romance, a book written by Apostle George Aiku and Reverend Mrs. Veronica Aiku, will revolutionize your married life. This book deals with topics such as the foundations of marriage, marital roles, biblical concerns about sex, biblical romance, sex techniques, communication in marriage, conflict resolution, and many more. It is a great tool for premarital and postmarital counseling. You don't have to allow your marriage to go down the drain. If you are yet to get married, then this is just what you need. You will be informed on courtship, dating, temperament, and many more. For information on how to get copies of this book, call or WhatsApp 0502 576952. Again, 0502 576952.
Welcome back to Biblical Romance.
Amen.
And we are still talking about love. So let's look at the last one, Sakikos.
Yeah, Sakikos is actually not love. It's more of the flesh.
Okay.
And with Sakikos, there's no relationship at all. Like prostitutes. All he wants is first sleep with you, pay money, and go.
Okay.
And that's Sakikos. There isn't any defined relationship to drive the whole thing. So we can't stress much on that.
Sakikos. Okay.
How can a man, what beauty can we find in a 10-year-old girl? Do you understand?
Mm-hmm.
What beauty is there in a 5-year-old girl that a bearded man would try to penetrate and break virginity and destroy this beautiful girl? What beauty is there in a 5-year-old girl? That is Sakikos. And prostitution, all he wants is to just satisfy himself and go away and pay the money, pay. And that is not really, it will never get anywhere. If you are going to do something with somebody and it's not based on relationship, forget.
Okay.
It won't last long.
Okay, so that kind of love, I mean, I don't know whether we'll even call it love, but
No.
it's
Just basically a carnal kind of love.
Okay.
And you see, this it exists among unbelievers.
okay.
More of unbelievers, because that's why
people can just go have one night stand
One
with
night, yes.
somebody and then
Yes.
go to a prostitute, somebody you don't know, you haven't spoken to before,
Mm-hmm.
and then just go sleep with a person, pay, and then go.
and nowadays we have programs on the television where you date somebody. Death rush, right? Oh yeah, it's
I've heard
happening.
about it. I haven't watched it before, but
I
I've
have
heard
it.
that.
I just had a flash of it. Death
Just
somebody
go
at
and date
night,
somebody.
have a good time, and then it's over. And you know what you are doing to yourself? You are collecting demons into your body. Because every affair with somebody is a tie. It's a soul tie. And soul tie is defined as when as a real sexual relationship with somebody who is not married to you. And you have a soul tie with Mr. A, Mr. B, Mr. C, E, it continues, C, D, it continues. So with time, see that you have about 500 men you have slept with. And they are also ties. You are one flesh with them. You are married to demons. So it's like covenants have been established.
Yeah.
So you can't have a permanent relationship. Such women, they can't marry.
Okay.
Difficult.
All right.
Sakikos is dangerous. Don't
Very
try.
dangerous.
Don't
Okay,
try.
so I mean, so now we know that every relationship that you have, you must invest into that relationship.
Yeah.
If you want to ensure that the relationship survives,
Yeah.
that the relationship stands, there's something that you must do.
Okay.
And a relationship is something that you intentionally
Yeah.
invest into it. And one thing that I have realized, there are certain things that are very important when it comes to a relationship to intentionally do to make sure that the relationship
Yeah.
stands. And one of them I think we talk about in the book is
Authenticity.
authenticity.
Authentic.
Authentic. So how does that play into relationships?
It's very important.
What
to
does
be-
it mean to be authentic?
Authenticity. Authentic means truth.
To be truthful, to be honest,
To be honest.
to be open.
To be open.
Okay.
You see, don't give a false aura about yourself. Aura means a kind of presentation, a kind of
Say something about yourself
which
that
is
is not true.
in consonance with who you really are.
Okay.
You understand? You try to portray something which is not you.
You pretend
You
to be something
you pretend to be somebody you are not.
you are not.
As if you have money. Meanwhile, you don't have. And so you go and present yourself to your spouse as if you have so much. Meanwhile, it's not there.
There's nothing
There's
there.
nothing. There's koto there. I mean, there's nothing in your pocket, in your life. So please be real. Don't put up false pretenses. Be who you are. Don't try to be what you are not.
And I think when one of the things we spoke about when we started this discussion, I think at that time we were talking about courtship. We said that sometimes people also use their spirituality to cover things
Cover up.
and to bully people into
Yes.
relationships.
Yes.
Because they pretend to be who they are, they pretend to be spiritual, and sometimes people even do that, in church. They want people to see that they are super spiritual, super spiritual, above everybody, and they use that to bully people,
bully others.
others into relationship. Because we said the other time that when you want to get into a relationship, don't go and tell the person that God said I should come and tell you. God hasn't said anything. God hasn't told you anything that you should go and tell somebody that you are the one I'm going to marry. Go with who you are.
Yes.
With your head like the way it is.
Yes.
Your mouth shaped the way it is. Your
Yes.
nose shaped the way it is.
Yes.
Just as you are, and tell the person that I really love you and I want to marry you.
Yes.
As simple as
As
that.
simple as
Don't
that.
say something that God hasn't said.
Said.
So we must also not pretend and use our spirituality to bully people into
Yes.
relationships.
Yes.
Because eventually it ends up, not going the way it should
It
be.
should be.
There have been so many cases in which people, sometimes prophets, have told them that you are supposed to marry this person, and forcibly put the two of them together, and they get married, and then there's disaster.
They
Disaster,
say,
because
why
they
did
are
God
not.
say it? God has lied.
And then we put the blame on God, that God said, and then look at what is happening. So God hasn't said anything. Ever since God chose Eve for Adam, and Adam blamed
Blame
God.
He never.
Adam blamed God when
never forced it.
they ate the apple, and then God came to the guy and he said, the woman that you gave me, gave it to me. So ever since that time, God said, the Bible says that whoever finds a wife finds a good thing. Whoever. So you find. God doesn't find for you. You have to go out and find. So let's not use our spirituality to bully people into marrying us, and then pretend to be who we are
That's
not.
very, very important. Then also, most of the time, the women, we see their beauty, their lipstick, their hairstyle. It is said that if you want to marry a woman, you want to be very sure of who she is. Visit her early morning at 6 a.m. One fine day, just go to the house and see her raw.
Mercy, Lord.
See her face raw. See her hair raw. See her body raw.
But she won't come out like that.
Oh, but at least you have an idea. Without the lipstick and everything, you see that this is a woman you're going to marry. I saw something some time ago. A man married a woman on the internet. I mean, he saw on the internet, so they proposed, arranged the marriage. And then after the wedding, they went home. The following day, she saw a Sakura woman without hair.
When they go home, the woman started removing the things.
The things.
The hair went first. The eyebrows also came off.
Came off.
Eyelashes came off.
And everything. You see, because
The hips came off.
most thing about women is all about cosmetics.
Mercy, Lord.
The breast is in town. You can get cushion breast. It's there. You
They
can
have cushion hips.
Cushion hips. You can see some
Cushion
hips.
buttocks.
You can see some hips of women. You think it's natural. It's the market. You
Don't
can buy
be
it.
deceived. Everything can be
Every
sold.
the hair, the artificial, the whatever Brazilian hair, everything is sold. So it's very important to be authentic, to see how a woman is. I would request that one day, early morning, just as a man, early morning, just go and visit her at home, and then she comes out with everything, and then you can make your choice.
All
So
right.
authenticity means being who you are,
Being who you are.
present yourself the way you are to your partner. It's so important. Otherwise, if you get to know who you are later, there'll be disappointment.
Don't go and borrow somebody's Benz car and sit in it and drive the Benz car and visit
Yeah.
the person and,
Yeah.
and, you know, put your hand on
As
the
if it's
window
your
like
car.
that. Put your hand on the window and then as if you know
It's your car.
Put your hand on the steering
Your
wheel.
father's car.
Your father's car. Somebody, a friend's car, and then you know just be splashing money around. Meanwhile, it is not yours. So please, just be yourself.
Be yourself.
If the person wants to accept you as you are, that is good. If
Yeah.
the person doesn't want you, just go your way and trust God for the best person that God can.
When you are courting and you can afford bus, trotro bus, you know, please don't force yourself to take dropping.
Yes.
If you're a man, don't try to pretend.
Impress the woman.
Join prayer, it won't take you far. You can continue to maintain, you can maintain it.
Yes.
So if a trotro is what you can afford, tell the woman, sweetheart, or maybe Stella, let's go to this place and let's join the line.
Join the trot. Go and join the trot
join
line.
the trotro line.
That's what you have.
That's what you have, and move on.
Yeah.
But if you start taking
Uber.
you are going to Uber, you are coming back
Uber.
and you know the things affecting you. Your budget is your monthly budget is getting affected, and yet it's what you want to do to impress her. You can't maintain it.
You can't maintain it. So just be
Authenticity.
yourself.
Be authentic. Be authentic.
Be yourself. If
Yours.
if the woman wants to accept you the way you are, fine.
Yeah.
Let the woman accept you.
So if she doesn't, then she can go for other person.
Yeah. So
Yes,
just
it's
be
not by
yourself.
force.
Don't go stretch yourself.
Stretch
beyond-
yourself and
beyond the
stretch and stretch and stretch. And you know you are complaining. It's like, this today we are going again. Today we are going again. Then you are calculating. And the thing is not there. If it's not there, my bro, it is not there.
I have a comment here. Now Icho says Trotro is romantic.
It's romantic. Trotro is romantic. I mean, sit inside, enjoy the fresh air. I mean, the air blows like air condition.
You enjoy the fresh
and
air.
You'll be chatting and
And
it's
you be
nice.
chatting in your
Yeah, it's
Trotro.
nice.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with Trotro.
Yeah.
I mean,
When we're courting, my wife and I, sometimes we could work from Osu, Ghana Post Office, Accra, to Osu Riga for evangelism.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because the money was not enough to take us, so we just managed. We all live at Mamprobi. I mean, just up and down, you know. Yeah. So we work from post office to Osu. And it was nice just having a chat. I mean, it's even good to have a chat,
Yeah,
long
just
chat.
walking and
just
chatting
walking and enjoy the fresh air. But don't be taking Ubers. Smart Uber. You know, and you are complaining too. And the thing is not there. After the whole thing goes,
look at
this
your
thing
budget.
comes down,
And
this one cry. Why does feel like that? You are complaining.
you can't afford, and
Can't afford
you just want to.
Yeah, be
do it.
authentic. Be authentic. The money you are spending, save the money for engagement.
Yeah.
Save it for engagement.
Yeah, save it to
Buy
buy the
stuff
stuff.
for- yes.
Save it to prepare yourself to
Yes.
buy land, to build a house for your marriage.
Yes.
Invest into your
Invest
marriage.
into your marriage. Invest rather than people can have big weddings. These days, the big weddings, the bigger the wedding, the
The
earlier
shorter the
shorter the
marriage.
marriage.
The bigger the wedding, the more the bridesmaids
Hey.
and the groomsmen, the shorter the marriage.
The marriage.
2 years.
2 years, it's
The
over.
bigger the what do you call it? The reception, the shorter the marriage.
People even borrow to have a wedding.
And then after the wedding, then there's
then
a
they
lot
say there's problems, you know. So be authentic, my brother. Be authentic.
Be who you are.
Be who you are. Do what you can afford. Don't force yourself to do what you can't. You are deceiving yourself.
yeah.
And take your time and build the relationship from the scratch.
Yeah.
based on who you are, what you can do, what you can afford, and the thing goes on.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So authenticity.
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 It is crucial.
Very crucial.
Very crucial.
Very.
Now, another thing that I know is very crucial in every relationship is credibility.
Credibility, credit,
Credit.
you know, and debit.
Okay.
Right? It's like when you put money in the bank, it is your credit. And you keep adding and adding, it's your credit. Now, it is something you earn, you don't force. For instance, if for once you do something very bad to your partner sees you with another girl or another boy in a very compromised situation, very compromised. I hope you mean. I hope you understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
You lose credibility. Now it will take time for your partner to trust you. You can't force him or her to trust you. You build credibility over a time period because you were in a compromised situation and the person saw you. It will take time to trust. And we know that relationships are based on trust. If it's not there, it won't stand. So maintain your credibility. If you lose it, prove that you can be trusted. That will take time. Your partner will say, please, I can't trust you. I saw you with that girl. You were kissing. I cannot trust you. So right for now, please leave me alone. Yes, leave her alone. Because you have broken credibility. The trust is broken.
Yeah.
And you must now begin to work. It's like, okay, you want money from the bank. The bank must trust you that you can pay the loan. No bank gives you without trust. You must provide some things that say you can pay the loan if we give you this money. So the same way, your partner can trust you based on credibility. How much credit do you have? You kiss that girl, now I can't trust you. So let's keep going. And she will withdraw certain things from you, like closeness, proximity. She will withdraw. She will change the way she speaks to you because she can't trust you. You see, to get her back, you must build credits. It's called credibility. You must add units to build credibility. So I'm saying that it will take time, but keep it up.
Yeah.
Never do that again.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I think credibility is tied into a little bit into truthfulness.
Truthfulness. Yeah. Yeah. Trust is
authenticity.
Authentic.
I'm having
credibility.
Credibility.
Credits. Like credits.
So it's like when you are untruthful for a long time, like you break trust.
You break trust.
So you lose credit.
You lose credit.
That is why I think initially when we started talking, we spoke about the fact that there's a need for you to break, when we're talking about the elements of marriage and we looked at about those other things, we talked about living. And we said that we talked about the fact that there was a need for you to break a relationship or break the tie with past relationships.
Yes.
Past girlfriends, boyfriends.
Yes.
I mean, they can't continue to be your friends.
Yes.
So you have to break that tie over there. And then once you break that tie, it also helps because if you were your old girlfriend, your wife or husband comes to meet you with your old girlfriend, even if you are not doing anything,
it sends some signal.
It sends certain signals which are not very good.
Very good.
And then it affects your credibility.
Yeah.
So I think we must be truthful.
Yes, be truthful.
Each other,
yes.
in order to, be credible for each other.
It's important.
I think it's important. It's
Yeah.
very important. I mean, I've seen so many funny things here. People are talking about their own relationship. Jennifer is talking about from North Kaneshi to Kaneshi to Teshinongwa. People are talking about their. Teresa is talking about.
Let's read.
Teresa Tetefio said, "Hey, we also enjoyed the Trotro experience.
The Trotro
it
experience
brings back nostalgia.
Nostalgia, yeah.
They all started in the Trotro experience.
Yeah.
They all started start in the trotro. We didn't start with Uber. We didn't start with. You start from somewhere.
Start from somewhere.
So you can't look at their experience now. And then decide that, oh, look, she's riding in a nice car, so me too, I need somebody like that. No, we all started
from somewhere.
From the trotro experience. So, I mean, it's something that we all go through.
Yeah.
All right, now let's look at another thing that I think we've spoken about it before, compatibility.
Compatibility is very important.
Okay.
Compatibility means that we are in agreement.
Okay.
For instance, you are a graduate. And you fall in love with a JSS girl. And you know that the educational background
Look at education.
is it there? Right? It's some way. It's some way, right? Okay, but because of love, you go into it, and later you realize that no, the difference is too big. Not compatible. What do you do? So it's good to, from the beginning, look at that, whether you are compatible. Because some marry and say, oh, I've seen that we are not compatible. They give birth to 3, 4 children, and then they come and say, I have realized that we aren't compatible, let's break. And it's very, very wrong. So, right from the word go, try and strike some compatibility. And see that somehow, we are not all perfect, right? But somehow, there's a level playing field. No, a level playing field you can all play. It's called commonality. There's something common you share together. For instance, you are a Christian. You're going to marry somebody who's not a Christian at all. Doesn't go to church. How can that work? You're not compatible. You're going to church. He's at home. So there's nothing common between the two of you. Over time, it will break. So it's good to be compatible. I mean. Yeah.
And I think later on we'll be talking also about temperaments. Because people have different temperaments, and sometimes some of the temperaments don't work with each other too well. So maybe later on we'll look about at that one too. But then let's look at the issue of age.
Yes.
Age.
Compatibility.
In terms of age.
Age.
Can somebody who is like 70 years or 60 years marry somebody who is 25 years?
Let's look at something. These days, marriage is contracted based on many conditions or perspectives or many things. Some young women have had experiences of disappointments with their contemporaries. Once, twice, and say no. Now they are going for older ones who seem to be more stable. Somebody who is more experienced, a 25, 30-year-old woman, wants somebody who's around 45, 50. Because she knows that this man is stable. He's gone through life and there's nobody who can come into his life anymore. So some women today, they want older ones to marry, and it's not too bad. But the fact is that, you see, as you grow, there's something called libido. Libido is the sexual feelings in us. It grows and decreases based on aging. If the man gets to 70 years and you are 50 years or 45 years, your libido will be higher. That means that your sexual desire will be stronger and higher. And the man's own will be very, very less. He wouldn't need much sex anymore because the libido is quite low. But here you are beautiful, you are energetic, the libido is high. You want about two sex sessions a day.
Let's see.
Or maybe every day or every other day you want, and the man can only afford once a week because the thing is low. What do you do? So what happens is that with time, if the woman is not able to bear with the sexual whatever it is I'm talking about right now, she will stay with the man but have another boy who can session her very well. So she's inside, do everything okay, but sexually committed to somebody else who is stronger sexually to session her. The aspect of life can't be ignored. We are not robots. The feelings will be there, and they will be there till after some time when it goes even at 100 years old. Abraham was able to perform. How about Zechariah? Zechariah was very old, but at an old age, he was still having an affair with Elizabeth, because of agape. But then these days, it's not like that, And they all grew. They were all old people, old Zechariah, old Elizabeth, and they love each other. But today, if you go that way, a man is 70 years old and a woman is 45 years old. Can this satisfy you? Ask yourself question. If sex is not a big deal for you, fine. Go into it, enjoy filial, enjoy friendship, enjoy companionship, which is the most important aspect of marriage, companionship. That's all you want, go ahead. But if you really want the eros to play a role in the marriage, then think twice if you are going for somebody who is much older than you, because the body will change over time.
Okay.
will
So
change.
it all depends on
you.
you.
Yeah.
It depends on you. There's no strict fast rule that the
Yeah.
age must be this
Yeah.
or that, but it depends on you, and you have to
Depends on you.
consider these factors that he has stated
Yes.
very carefully
Yes, you have
before
to.
you enter into it. Because
Yeah.
sometimes some women, because of money, or they want somebody who can take care of them.
Of them, yeah.
So
yeah.
they want somebody who can, who is stable, who has built a house,
Yes.
who has a car, who has
And
money,
that's what they want.
he has bank accounts,
Security.
he can take care of me, he can get this for me, get me on trips to the UK, to New York. I can go for shopping in New York. I can go and do this and that and come back, go to Paris, then they are okay.
Yeah, okay.
So they just want that one and they are satisfied with that one. But even in that one, in most cases, in the end, you find out that
Yeah.
the woman ends up, having some like
extra.
Yes, some extra. So you have to consider this
Yeah.
very, very carefully. The age difference is
Age
also
difference.
something that you have to consider. We just have a very little time left, so let's look at religious faith.
Religious faith.
Can a Christian marry somebody who is not a Christian, or should a Christian be able to do that?
The Bible says that how can we be equally yoked with unbelievers?
Okay.
Unbelievers have a different lifestyle from believers. So we believe that we have to pray every morning, go to church, read the Bible. They don't believe in that. They don't do that. So that can create a problem in the relationship. So in the first place, believers are not supposed to marry unbelievers.
Yeah.
It's in the Bible.
That's what the Bible says.
So don't try. Don't try. If you try to change him and bring him to the marriage, he will pretend to have changed. But when it comes into it, the real color will show one day that he hasn't changed at all.
I think we've
We've
seen
said
this
that.
quite a lot. I mean, it's in so many places. Sometimes, especially with the women, we go and bring the men from outside. We bring them, and then this is where we go to church. So maybe the man is still not even born again. He doesn't even go to church. He doesn't, but then we try to force them to come, and then they also, because they want the woman, they will
come.
just decide,
Yeah,
okay,
let me
you
go.
see them, they will come small. They will be coming small. Immediately after the wedding, that Sunday they will come to church. Maybe 1 month after that, next you say, oh, let's go to church. I'm tired today. I'm very tired. Let me rest. And then that is
That's all.
And then you don't get them again. And sometimes when you are even going, then they will begin to complain. So it's very important for us to realize that we need to get people who are spiritual,
It's important.
who love God,
We love God.
men who love God, women who love God, who want to do God's work, who have a desire to serve God.
Yes.
They are the kind of people.
And I think that, for instance, if you have pastoring as a profession or a vocation, God has called you, I think you should marry somebody who has a heart for God and for ministry. It's important, because if you just look at just the beauty and that, you make a mistake. I found in my wife a minister. She loved the Lord right from the word go. Evangelism, prayer, and she's maintained that up till now. So if you want to marry, you are looking for somebody to marry, and you're a minister, or you want to do God's work, maybe you're a lay person, you have interest in doing God's work, then get somebody who loves God like you. and both of you can serve God together. I know a couple, the man was in the same school with me, but the woman somewhere, but they got married. And every Sunday, the man says, I want fufu. Sunday morning is when the woman wants fufu to eat. He won't attend church. But the woman told me, Pastor, every Sunday says pan fufu for me. And you know how I have to attend church. That's a problem. If you marry somebody who is not inclined to the things of God, it will be a major problem for you. So make sure that your religious faith matters a lot. In the first place, marry a believer, not somebody who is not in your religion, because they to practice something else. Some they have their own faiths altogether, their own practices which are contrary to yours. So make sure that the person is in your faith, and then you can have things going smoothly for you.
We just have about 1 minute. I want us to briefly talk about relationships and look at the educational background and whether it's something we should consider when choosing a life partner.
Yes, I think so. I think so. Sometimes if the love is very strong and the woman or the man is not too educated and the woman is educated, over time they can level up.
Okay.
Yeah, it depends on the love affair.
The relationship and love, whether you are able to overcome
yes.
that. Because sometimes some people find out that they marry, for instance, the man is very well educated, he marries a woman who is uneducated, and then he gets to a certain place in his job and he doesn't want to take this woman along wherever he is going. He doesn't want people to know, the friends to know that this is my wife. Mm-hmm. But I think that if you are in such a relationship, you can also help your wife to come up to your level. Or you can help your husband to come up to your level. Yeah. And so if we are able to do that for each other, then I think that the relationship will be able to move on. But if the parties they don't really understand this concept and are not able to do that, then you see that one person will tend to, move towards a certain direction and leave the other partner behind, and that will not augur well for the relationship.
Yeah.
All right, so I think that our time is up, and it has been a very fruitful discussion, and we thank God that you stayed with us throughout all this time. All of you who were watching with us, God bless you. So many of you, I can't mention all of you, with your contributions and everything, all your comments and everything. We thank you so much for staying with us. Next week we will be back with another very interesting topic. So please make sure your Saturdays 8 p.m. you are always ready, Facebook Live, as we take various topics and discuss various things on biblical romance. We hope that you have been blessed today. So let's just say a word of prayer and then we shall end.
Father, we thank you so much for the insight. We thank you for the understanding, the wisdom granted to go through this program. We give you glory for this. We thank you so much for helping us through this. We are grateful to you, Lord. Thank you again, Lord. And we pray that next time we come again, grant us deeper understanding. And let our audience be blessed much more than even today.
Yes, Lord.
Lord, we pray as many as shall even watch this after, let it be a blessing to them.
Amen.
In Jesus' mighty name,
Amen.
we give you praise. Amen.
Amen. Well, thank you very much. God bless you so much. And we want to say a big thank you.
Yes.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.
We wish you a biblical romance week.
Biblical romance week. Yeah.
God bless you. Bye-bye.
Bye. If you have any questions, keep the questions flowing. We'll be answering them in the course of the week. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So many Christians take so many things for granted. We think that once we're married, everything will work out by itself automatically. It does not work that way. We need to be deliberate and intentional about our marriages. We need to work at it day and night. Biblical Romance, a book written by Apostle George Aiku and Reverend Mrs. Veronica Aiku, will revolutionize your married life. This book deals with topics such as the foundations of marriage, marital roles, biblical concerns about sex, biblical romance, sex techniques, communication in marriage, conflict resolution, and many more. It is a great tool for premarital and postmarital counseling. You don't have to allow your marriage to go down the drain. If you are yet to get married, then This is just what you need. You will be informed on courtship, dating, temperament, and many more. For information on how to get copies of this book, call or WhatsApp 0502 576952. Again, 0502 576952.